Hello, everybody, and welcome to another broken screen on OBS. God damn it. I keep saying I'm going to fix this, but every time I do anything that I think fixes it, it doesn't fix it. So anyway.
It's become a running joke at this point.
Yeah.
It would almost be sad if nothing went wrong.
Well, you know, you think after, what, 3 or 4 times in a row this is getting wrong, I would finally figure out what's going on, but well, I just need to rebuild it. I just have to start from scratch and rebuild it, and that's going to take like 2 days. So it's going to be crazy, but I'm going to do it. I promise next week I will have a new screen. It will also fail, but it will be completely rewritten as well. Anyway, I'm Hammer, and I'm joined by my 2 favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey.
Hello.
And Terry Diamantis.
Hey.
How you doing, Terry?
I'm all right. As I said earlier, I'm tired because the garbage collector decided that he was up at 4 in the morning, so was everyone else.
That's information that people on Rumble already had because they were on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Scintillating conversation, folks, let me tell you. Jen, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
It's too warm.
Before we get to the topics, why don't we go ahead and see who's in chat tonight? You want to take care of that for me, Terry? While I fix the show.
I actually made it easier on myself because I said hi to everyone. So Cynic, Kefki, and Adam, I said hi to, and then Tier is in there, and Keevan, who are both in the Rumble chat, and Corsten and Frosted, and Yamashisu. So I think that's everyone.
I have to do special huggles for Kefki
in
chat.
Yes.
Hug.
Hugs.
Yeah.
Hi, Kefki. On that note, I was talking to her last week about designing a long platypus because she has a long ferret. And I'm only bringing that up because of you, Terry. I'm like, I think platypus are more your area of
Yes.
And I still don't know. Are they a mammal? Are they a duck? What the fuck are they?
They are not a duck.
Mammal.
They are
They're
mammals. They're not fowl, unless you're talking about pollen. He's fowl.
They're a specific type of mammal called a monotreme because they lay eggs. There's only 2 mammals that lay eggs, and platypus is one of them.
They're also capable of making their own custard.
Ew.
Because they make milk too. It's weird.
Interesting.
Hi, Kefki. Don't eat platypus custard. I say that as a joke because I think it's heinous, but
Hey, Frosted. So let's go over the topics for tonight. I only have 2 of them. Well, I technically have 3, but I didn't advertise a 3rd one. First one is strike, and that has nothing to do with Actors Guild or anything like that. This is the Long Island cop who mowed down a girl with her gun. I mean, he was going for a spare, I guess, because he just winged her, did enough to knock her on her ass. But it was funny to see the outrage from other countries because they're not used to America. America, we don't fuck around. And they were like, he hit her with a car. Yeah, well, the other option is he shoots her dead with a fucking gun, dude. So anyway, also the second one, ABC. ABC News put a topic up about Maui's wildfire, saying that it can't be blamed on climate change. And oh boy, that light a fire, literally, under all the climate change activists' ass. And they went after NBC, and to the point where ABC folded and changed the headline.
Oh, God.
And then there was another police department, a very small town, 1,200 people in the town. I have to do some more research. I just kind of winged this at the last second, but there was an entire police department that quit. They're tired of not being paid what they should be paid compared to everybody else. They were being underpaid. And the anti-police sentiment that's everywhere is also there, even though it's a small town. And they were just like, well, we're tired of dealing with the shit, and everybody quit. Not just 1 or 2 people. The entire department, including the chief of police, quit.
Oh boy.
Put 2 weeks in.
That can't be good.
Put 2 weeks in and said, we're out of here. What they did was they backfilled with the sheriff department. So now they're paying the sheriff department overtime to the point where it's more than if they would have just given the police department their raise.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and of course the mayor doubled down. Oh, we'll find something to do, blah 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 blah. But they're like putting out requests statewide to come and be the police officers and incentives, and if you come work, we give you 5,000 down, guaranteed life insurance, all these perks, and nobody applied.
No,
And this
I
is for
wouldn't
like
either.
this is for like 8 months. Nobody, even recruits coming out of school, cop school, won't apply. So
No, I mean, I
so
don't blame them.
they just said fuck you and out. That was it. So I haven't heard any
Yeah.
updates about what's going on, but I was fucking laughing my ass off when I read it. That was the funniest thing I heard.
No, I honestly look, if you're going to have an environment that no one wants to work in, then you can't be too surprised that no one wants to work in it.
Have you ever heard anything like this, Jen?
Not really, no. But I don't really have this. Maybe it's just because I don't know Hawaii that well, but I've never really heard them as being high as like a crime rate state. And
Well, this wasn't in Hawaii. This is a different group of police, but
okay.
but it's I think it's in, it began with an M. It was Mississippi or Missouri or something like that. I think it was, isn't it the state that Chauvin did the knee on the back thing? Wasn't that Mississippi or Missouri?
I have no idea.
Well, whatever state he's in, it's the same state, but it's a small province that's nowhere near the big cities. It's just a little small town kind of deal. And yeah, nobody wants to work there. In general, the entire state is low on police officers from what happened with Chauvin anyway. But this specific town is like, they all went in and submitted their resumes all on the same day. So they all talked about it, and they all sat down and said, well, we're all going to quit. And most of them have already left. They're not even living there anymore.
People in chat are saying Minnesota.
If that's the case, I don't blame them. Like, I was misunderstanding that. I thought we were still in Hawaii, but no, like their cops, yeah, I would quit too, because yeah, it's not worth the amount of money at this point. There's more problems than just the police.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it also means you're completely run by corrupt people now. So that's not good either.
Yeah, I don't I'm usually pretty hard on police whenever they do something that I think is not right. I've seen a lot of cops misbehave because I subscribe to a lot of YouTube channels that point out all the things that cops misbehaving. So I'm usually pretty tough on them. But this one, I'm kind of like, dudes, you're doing the right thing.
No, but I do think it's fair to hold police to a higher standard because they have a position of authority. They should be held to a higher standard than just regular citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's what are you getting out of it if you stay? And I picture the that British cop who had to sick 7 of her coworkers on an autistic kid because she said that she looked like her lesbian grandma, which she did. Probably not as nice, though.
I don't know what the grandmother looks like, but she does look like a lesbian. I can't confirm the nana half of it.
Yeah, maybe not as nice. I bet you this girl's nana was probably much nicer, but she does look like a lesbian, and get over it. Don't be a homophobe.
In all honesty, a woman working as a police officer, unless they're significantly feminine, they're already going to have a certain amount of features because they're in a uniform. That's the first thing. So they're not dressed like a woman. We're used to seeing women, even business women, in some kind of dress or a skirt or something along that lines. When you put a pair of pants on a woman in a uniform, that immediately says male to a lot of people in their heads. That and the short hairdo, the scowl on the face, the crossed arms, everything she's presenting is masculine energy. I would have said the same thing. I wouldn't have said it out loud, but that's autism.
Yeah.
You know, autism is just, you don't have a filter in some things that you say. So when my first picture, when I saw her, I was like, yeah, she is a lesbian. I mean, I don't know for sure. Nobody knows for sure, except the fact that she was pissed doesn't really tell you if it's true or not. Because if you're not a lesbian, being called a lesbian is an insult. But if you are a lesbian and you don't want people to know and you're called a lesbian, now you're being outed and you're pissed. So it's lose-lose.
No, I think the fact that she got upset proves that she's the real homophobe because she ascribed a negative value to looking like a lesbian.
I'd also say that she absolutely did abuse her position of power. I'm not saying that she knew. I'm not saying she knew that the girl had autism. That part she's not going to know.
No,
but
no,
you
no.
could tell that
the mother said she has autism, and the police said, "I don't care."
I know. She also could tell that she's young and drunk, which means that she's clearly a young kid who's just not in the right state of mind. She's not doing it to be necessarily malicious. Yeah. Which, as a cop, I don't doubt she's actually seen much scarier people call her the same thing, and I highly doubt she would have gone at it with the same approach. It's because she was a 16-year-old autistic girl that she could get away with
being insulting.
Yeah.
The kid was literally saying, "You look like my grandmother," which, like, she probably has positive associations with her grandmother. So it's not like you look horrible. It's you remind me of someone I care about. It's like, how dare you say I look like a lesbian? Rah, 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 rah. Well, you're the one who's saying looking like a lesbian is a bad thing. You're the one being homophobic.
Yeah, that's why I was so like, yeah, listen, lady, you would never go after anybody else but this kid because you know that she's harmless. And I was mad because of that, because I was like, man, I wish they'd send you to London. If they have to keep you, I hope they send you to London, because then everyone there is going to call you a lesbian too.
It's yeah,
I know too many British people.
I was annoyed watching that clip. It's like there's nothing wrong with what the girl did, and to send 7 police after her for like saying something that a cop decided was insulting, that is preposterous.
Yeah. Oh, you're homophobic. I'm like, most of the gay people are looking at you and are going, yeah, you kind of do look like a lesbian, but we don't want to put you in our team, so you can stay where you are, Karen. I guarantee you the alphabet community's already disowned you.
Karen.
For comparison, if I grow my beard out, I look Muslim. And rather than get offended, I shave my beard. Like, I trim my beard. And it's like, okay, if someone is treating me like they think I'm Muslim, I need to trim my beard because I've let it grow too big. And like that actually happened. Like, I was on a flight and they said, just so you know, there's pork in this meal. I was like, yeah, that's fine. But like the fact that they wanted to specify that to me and only me, they probably thought I was either a Jew or a Muslim.
Yeah, there's been a few times where when I worked in food industry, you don't want to ask, but you know to.
Yeah,
but
no, there's nothing wrong with it. If you think I look like a Muslim, then you're not doing anything wrong by letting me know there's pork in the in-flight meal. You're actually being kind. You're saying, look, this might be a problem because it seems like you would have an aversion to like pig products.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to really highly encourage my Muslims in my area, mostly because my store was super busy. So it was one of those things where like I'm a little bit of a clean freak when it comes to food because I like to eat food. So when I had the opportunity to clean my machine properly, and I was like, oh, you're gonna let me actually do that because you can't have it in contact with pork. And I was like, thank you. Thank God you're here. It's touching everything. I haven't had 5 seconds to do anything. So they thought I was super nice because they were Muslim. I'm like, no, I just like keeping things sanitary.
No, it's fine. If people make assumptions based on your appearance, then if you don't like those assumptions, you change your appearance. It's something people can do for the most part.
I enjoy the position I'm in. I am quite the teddy bear in real life, but I'm a big guy. People usually give me a bit of a wide berth, and I don't think that I'm personally intimidating. I'm much more intimidating on the air and on Twitter than I ever am in real life. I'm very
Yeah.
reserved in real life. And but I go to the local gas station, and you know, and I walk in the front door, and people like move away. It's like, I took a shower. I don't know what you guys are moving away from me for. I'm not gonna hurt anybody. I'm a nice guy. What the hell, you know? But I get that. I get looks at.
That's also happened to me where I was walking home one night and there happened to be a woman in front of me, but she like sped up when she realized I was there, and it's like, I can't blame you because you don't know who I am.
Right.
I know I'm not going to hurt you, but you don't know that. So when she sped up to like put some distance between me and her, it's like, I can't really blame you. I understand why you did that.
I saw a YouTube video just a couple days ago of a guy. It was late at night. It was, I guess, in the city, and this girl is walking home, and this guy crosses the street behind her because he's going to make a right at the next light. They're walking, but he's behind her, and she turns around, she sees him, and she starts running away from him. And I think he was a black guy, and she was an Asian girl. Yeah, it was an Asian girl. And, well, blacks and Asians, there's an issue there, but she starts running away. So he runs behind her, screaming at her, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And he gets her to a point where she's in a corner, and he stops. He says, that was silly, wasn't it? And he walks away.
That was, but that actually reminded me of a stand-up comedian where like he's walking behind the woman, she speeds up. He's like, I don't know what she's scared of, but if a white person is scared of it, I'm scared of it. So he starts running behind her.
But she's running away from him, and he's running away from something he thinks might be
yeah. But then he's like, "Is that as fast as you can run?" Because like he's like staying behind it.
Oh, that's hilarious. I
got a big kick. Watch that runner from the thing that's chasing them both. Yeah, I remember that one.
He yelled to the girl in front of him, "What are we running from? You know, I'm running from you. What are you running from me for?" Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Running a poll. We talked about this on Rumble before the show.
Yes.
To see if we going to go with last week's pick, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me, or if we're going to make a new selection for tonight, which I would do at 9:30. And it looks like right now, 73% say we should pick something new.
Well, that means they kind of forgot about the song. They did exactly what they were told not to
not to do. We forgot about it. I guess I can add that song. No, I guess I probably shouldn't. No. Don't, because they're already rejecting it technically. But
yeah, they already said they don't want it. So yeah.
It's not like the new selections are going to be any better than that.
Nah.
This is awful anyway. That's okay. But we got a new one out that we got just before the show. A suggestion from Jen. So you'll have to wait till the poll starts to see what her selection was. Then you'll have to guess which one is hers, because we don't know. Yeah. Well, people on Rumble know because they know everything, because we tell them everything before the show starts. Am I pushing too hard for Rumble?
I think
I'm pushing too hard
for Rumble if they can. I think the extra half hour is pretty interesting. You should go listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's salacious. You guys should be there. But the deal is, I can't run a poll over on Rumble.
Yes, that is true.
That's really putting a cramp in the whole possibility of just running the show over there. And according to Monkey, some people just won't go over to Rumble. Even people that are dedicated on YouTube just won't go to Rumble. So I don't want to lose anybody.
I don't know if they're like dedicated to YouTube, but a lot of people just don't want to sign up to new websites.
That's true.
Like they've got a website that they use for watching videos. They don't see the point in signing up to multiple ones. So, I mean, if they don't want to move over to Rumble, that they don't have to. But yeah, I think offering the extra half hour is a good enticement, and you know.
Do you think YouTube is kind of cresting a little bit and might be turning the corner on being the standard for video? You think it's heading that way?
I think they're probably alienating more and more people, so it will happen eventually. But I think they're still pretty secure in their number one position.
What do you think, Jen?
I think they're going to decide on what they want to decide on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, your opinion then, Susan WikiWiki or Raju Mahan? Raju Mahan.
Jumble, definitely, but I don't think it's been Susan for a long time.
It hasn't.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
So-
But I still like blaming Susan because Susan is just such a moral
Susan.
busybody sounding name. Like
Susan WikiWiki.
yeah, thanks Susan sounds better than thanks Neil, because Neil doesn't have that same middle class white woman, like officious busybody trying to meddle in
Karen.
everyone's business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same kind of name as Karen, where it speaks to a very specific type of person who is very officious and a moral busybody, and
I always was really a little sad that Brian Cook's joke didn't pick up with the Brian, because the male version was supposed to be a Brian, the friend that you don't really want to hang out with as much as everybody else because they're kind of a pain in the dick, and that's Karen or Brian.
I think there is a reason that Karen was chosen and not a male, because it is not a uniquely female character trait, but is a predominantly female character trait to act in that sort of entitled manner.
Yeah.
So Neil is his American name?
Neil Mohan is what I know him as. I don't know what his
real name is Raja Mahan.
Okay.
Yeah, you watch Matt Blonde. You know his. I always play that.
I only watch Matt's videos. I don't watch the streams.
Oh, you don't watch his stream? You don't watch the Sunday show?
No.
Oh. Yeah, he has a little sounder. He used to have a sounder for Susan at the end of his streams, but of course, when Rasha took over, he put a sounder. The guy who did the music for Susan did the music for Raja Mahan as well.
Okay.
So the same guy. His name's Chris Gard. He's a very talented musician, Australian.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I do really like Matt's videos. Streams tend to be a lot longer than videos. So
streams 2 hours.
It's hard. All the streams that I'm personally on to then watch even more is kind of hard to find time for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his stream is not like ours because we were first.
Yeah, but like a 15-minute video I can watch. Like a 2-hour stream, not so much.
Well, it is a podcast, so if you're doing something, cleaning the house or doing the dishes or something like that, you can throw it on the background and listen to it.
Yeah.
You don't have to
watch
it.
The Lotus Eaters.
Yeah.
I'll queue up a whole bunch of their videos, and then that'll just be playing in the background because I know I don't have to look at the screen.
Yeah. It's the same for me. I usually don't look at the screen like the whatever podcast or whatever, or whatever. Usually just listen to it. I'll watch Matt and Blonde because Blonde's pretty, so I don't mind watching a good looking woman talking. Do you know she's like 35 or something like that?
Okay. Yeah. I never really thought about it, but I guess.
Yeah. I mean, she looks like she's like 23 and she's a mom and she's pregnant again.
I knew she was a mom. I didn't know she had another one cooking.
Yeah. She got another one cooking. Matt has a child and his wife is also pregnant. So you got her on the show pregnant and his wife is pregnant. So they're trying to come up with baby names and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of silly.
Must be something in the water.
They don't even live near each other, but apparently something's going on. Yeah. But she says this is her last one. Of course, she said her first one was her last one. So, but yeah.
I think there's an actual thing in the female body where they forget how painful and intense childbirth is, because otherwise no one would have more than one.
Yeah.
So there is like a natural mechanism in the female body that kind of forgets exactly how bad
The trauma was, yes.
Yeah, and because like
It's called the
mother,
baby.
my mother has had 4 kids, and if she had like a vivid memory of pain and discomfort while giving birth to me, there probably wouldn't be 3 siblings of mine in the world.
Answer
Like
some quick questions in YouTube chat. How old is Matt? I don't know. I believe he's older than Blonde, but I don't know how old he is. Who's
He looks
pregnant?
about late 30s.
I guess. I mean, she's in 30s too, so I don't know who's older. Spud says, who's preggers? That would be Rebecca Blonde from the Matt and Blonde show. She's pregnant. And Matt, who's the other host on that show, his wife is pregnant. So those are the 2 people that are. Yes, nice. Matt does look older, and Blonde looks younger, but Blonde is older than what she looks like. She really, looking at Blonde, I'm serious. I would say 23, 24 maybe. And she's like 35 or something like that. It's crazy how good she looks.
I don't know his age, but I would look at Matt Christensen and guess mid to late 30s.
Yeah. Well, let me bring up. I wonder if it would be available on YouTube. I wonder if he's a big enough personality that it would have his age if I just searched. Matt Christensen.
Is 35 years old, apparently.
You found it right?
Well, one says 34. Yeah, 35 years old as of 2023.
Okay, well, let me look at Rebecca because I know her name. R-E-B. She's mentioned her full name in the show.
Oh, has she? I only know Rebecca. I don't know her surname.
I know her. Oh, I know her maiden name. I heard her say her name once, but I didn't commit it to memory. But I can't find her age. Her maiden name was Hargraves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does sound familiar now that I've heard you say it.
Yeah. But I can't find her age anywhere. There's a biography on IMDb?
Yeah.
No age. It's blonde. It doesn't have any information.
Okay.
Do you know Minions has a page on IMDb?
Yeah. The same guy who did Monkey in the Morning's page did ours. I forget his name now. Steven something, I think. But yeah, no. I have an IMDb page, which is bizarre to me.
You have one?
Yeah, there's it's completely out of date. It says I've only done like the 400th Minion stream, and that's it. Like apparently I've only done one thing, but yeah, someone made a page for me because I was on one of the Minions anniversary streams, and yeah, so I've got very few credits to my name on IMDb, but I am on there.
Wow. Yeah, I somebody was simping for her, telling her how pretty she was on the live stream, and she says, "Look, I'm 35-year-old. I'm a 35-year-old mom." He says, "I'm not what you think I am," kind of deal. But she gets up from her chair and walks around. I mean, except for when she's pregnant, she looks like she's in good shape. So I don't know.
But yeah, I'm going to say don't simp for Rebecca Blonde. Don't simp for anyone. Like if you're not personally friends with someone, just randomly saying that you're beautiful is just weird. Don't do it.
Well, she kind of took it more than what it was. A person said something like, Matt, you're looking good, blonde. You're looking good tonight. She wasn't like really just going all overboard, but she kind of took it that way. So
okay, that's fine. But yeah, no, I see a lot of like simping for just like people you don't know, and it's like, no, don't do that.
It looks like we're getting a new selection for music tonight. So
yes, I did see that.
I have to last minute compile 4 songs here. So
no, I think all 4 should be Rick Astley. Never going to give you up.
All right. So, did you notice that tonight's show number?
2100. Wow.
2100. We've done 2100 shows. And that doesn't
That's
include all the game nights and special shows and that kind of stuff. Like we had some that we did during the day back in the day instead of like nighttime ones. So we did 2 in a day. Didn't count any of those. We're up at least over 2150 at least, if not more. Probably 2200.
Yeah. There were a lot of game streams.
Yeah, there were a lot of game streams. So one is nice looking, but I wouldn't say.
I watched one game stream and decided this is not for me because they were playing Jackbox and there were so many inside jokes that I had no idea what anybody was talking about.
That's true on Quippers too, though. You get a bunch of people together, you know.
No, I'm not saying it's different for Quippers. The only difference is I'm in the group that understands the in-jokes on Quippers. So, like, if I had never seen an episode of Quippers and I sat down and watched it, I would probably be out of the loop there as well. But the first time I watched a Minions game stream was Jackbox, and I was like, I don't know what people are talking about. Like,
you got to get used to the people that you're dealing with. You got to know who you're dealing with, get all the inside jokes. It's the same thing. If you watch Matt Blanc stream live, there's a lot of jokes that you wouldn't get from Matt's regular videos.
Yeah, but I think it's different because they're still going to be talking about issues. So you might not get the jokes, but then the political conversation would still be enough to hold your interest until you became familiar with the in-jokes.
Yeah.
Sitting down and watching a Jackbox stream where none of the answers make any sense.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm just going on.
Do something else now.
Yeah. For us, it says blonde is nice looking, but I wouldn't say hot. Plus, she's too black-pilled, so without Matt, she'd be depressing. Yeah, they don't call her the blonde Führer for nothing. She has very black-pilled.
She had her own YouTube channel for a while.
Still does. She actually has an alternate one too.
Okay. I didn't know she was still making videos.
Yeah, she's doing interview work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you watch her old videos, Blonde in the Belly of the Beast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still her.
You can see how black-pilled she is.
Yeah, that's still her Gab email address. And she still does it. Yeah, she is very black-pilled. And the people she has, she had like Molyneux and a bunch of people that are all pretty black-pilled people too. But she was doing a YouTube channel with another girl talking about motherhood. I think it was called Motherhood. I think that was the name of the actual channel name, or something very close to it. It might have been. It might have been somebody like that.
I have a vague memory of her and Brittany Pettibone doing something together. Yeah.
So, but yeah, she is pretty black-pilled, and that's okay. You know, everybody has their own idea of what
I've got no
politics
problem
are.
with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand some of it from her because if you look at some of the things she's saying, it's kind of true. You know, so I can get behind it. But
I like to see both sides of it. So like I'll watch like the Lotus Eaters who like advise against doomerism and say you should try and like maintain optimism, and then I'll watch someone like V is just like, well, not V, but you know, someone who's a lot more negative and is like, fuck all this.
Yeah, I thought for a long time I thought V was a girl.
He's got a pretty squeaky voice, but I never thought he sounded like a girl.
I just see his tweets. That's what I went by. I've never seen any of his videos, or I didn't even really know he had videos. But
well, he's friends with Sargon, so that's how he got known. There's like Sargon kind of promoted him when he was first starting out. So that's where I discovered V through the stream where they were making fun of Russian Deadpool for killing his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I remember that back in the day.
Yeah, that was where I discovered V, and yeah, he made me laugh with the very first thing he said, the very beginning of the stream. I was like, okay, I like this guy.
Gotcha.
Because he was saying a feminist got triggered for the last time.
Yeah, that never happened again. So the other things we have for tonight are what happened with ABC and that girl got run over by the cop. Which one do you want to talk about? Jen, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. It's like somebody got run over by a cop.
You didn't see the video?
No.
Oh.
Sometimes I miss them.
I know you're not a big Twitter person. This made the rounds on Twitter in a pretty big way. But I guess it was Brittany Grimes or Brittany Grimes look-alike, tall, light-skinned black girl with a gun.
Mm.
She's backing up through a four-way intersection, waving the gun around, and out of frame comes this white police car. Wham!
Oof.
Yeah, it really. It kind of. I mean, it was the headlight part of the car, so it wasn't like dead center up over the roof down the back of the car. It wasn't like broke both legs kind of thing, but it did knock her on her ass. She did get back up, but then she sat back down again. I don't know if it hurt her knee and she couldn't stand up for very long. I don't know what the deal was there, but it made me laugh. I know that sounds bad.
No.
But it's
America's
funny.
Funniest Home Videos was built on people laughing at injuries.
It was funny. It's like, I got a weapon and I'm going to do the boom. It's like, okay, I guess not.
I've done similar stories lately. Like I'm not going to bother looking up the clip, but you might have seen it. Like, I think this one was in England too. And it was a bunch of stop oil people who glued themselves to, it was an oil tanker, but it was for cooking oil. And the guy in the interview just starts cracking up. Like, do they not know that's for cooking oil? And
That's pretty funny.
He's like, no, that's great.
Gotta stop oil, including cooking oil.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Just start pointing and laughing at people.
It pollutes your kitchen, so
yeah.
That's hilarious. All right, I think I got some good selections for tonight. Let me run the poll. Everybody get your votes in. Which one? Here's a good question, everybody. While you're answering the poll, which one of these four was Jen's selection? People who are on Rumble are not allowed to say anything. They already know which one is Jen's selection, or do they? Were we live? I don't remember if we're live. In any case, you guys have to tell us which one Jen picked on this list.
I think we were live. When
were we live? All right, people on Rumble who got the scoop because they were there early. You're not allowed to. Don't influence what anyone's saying. Yeah, like that's going to happen. They're going to do it anyway.
Frosted says so she got knocked down, but she got up again.
It's pretty funny.
And apparently V was on an RPG with Sargon and a few others, and V was driving everyone crazy. I never saw that, but I did know that was the origin of the Kick V meme.
I'm not surprised. He is his own version of a Spurg, and he knows it.
Oh, he knows it. He's a total troll. He's like, there's a reason that's his avatar on his second channel.
But I like the guy. I find him hilarious as shit. But I admit that if he really wanted to troll somebody or like me, he could. But I give him fair share because he was happy to. He played along with my ranting monkey joke. You know, he was like, "Is cereal soup?" Not in theory, no. But everything that is in it could technically also be used for a soup. So he played along with the answer, and I give him credit for knowing who Ranting Monkey is, because damn it, everybody does. I didn't ask him the worst one either. I keep asking Jeremy from the quartering if how he feels about the turtle buttering.
Oh God!
Because I know he knows about that one, and that one isn't because of me. That is totally because of Bearing.
Oh boy.
That was from Lords of the Night. I haven't heard that on Monkey in the Morning. It never didn't carry over.
I think Monkey in the Morning is more Would Marty Bang His Mom. That's more of a Monkey in the Morning one.
Yeah. So anyway, this girl gets hit by the cop car. She's tall, thin chick. Gets hit by the cop car, gets knocked down. And literally gets back up again, and then falls again when the police jump on top of her and pull her down and all that kind of stuff and disarm her. She got hit by the car. The gun got knocked out of her hands, and they arrest her. I didn't hear any information about what happened afterwards, except that she was arrested. So I don't know what the charges are. Probably brandishing, at least, if nothing else. But what got me wasn't so much that this happened, because I've seen police do a lot worse than that, and that it's perfectly legal here to do the things that they do. It's just that the international community, people in England especially, Australia, I didn't hear from anybody from Canada say anything, but the people who were most vocal were Australians and England. Like, he ran her down. What the hell, America? What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, that's nothing. I saw a video of a guy on a motorcycle trying to make a right-hand turn, and somebody went through the intersection, and the cop was behind the guy in the motorcycle and tried to get around the guy in the motorcycle, and instead hit the guy with the motorcycle, knocked him off his bike. His bike went into the intersection, and a car, an F-250 truck, ran over the motorcycle.
I would respond to that differently, and maybe it's just because I'm not from Australia and or the UK, but I was taught as a young child how our laws work in terms of our roads. And it's not just the cars who have to obey those laws. It's also the pedestrians. So if you are causing problems on the road as a pedestrian, yeah, I would feel bad if you got hurt, but I would also consider you partially responsible for it. So if you're being a violent thug on the street and somebody runs away and you get run over because of it, that's on you. Yep. It's also the same as how I feel about the people gluing themselves to the asphalt. When I know that you're going to lose your hand for it, I'm a little bit partially thinking, yeah, I don't give a shit because you glued your hand to the asphalt.
Yeah. Well, there was one where a guy submerged his hand in liquid cement, so it covered the entire hand.
Yeah, he's lost his hand because of it.
Did he lose his hand? Because I heard that they said he got degloved, which means all the skin on the hand was gone, but the muscles and all that kind of stuff stayed.
That he won't do that again, will he?
No, at least not with that hand.
Exactly.
It's just like I have the sympathy of not wanting other people to feel pain, but at the same time, though, like a child, you know at a certain point to stop putting your hand in the fire because it fucking hurts.
And if a full-grown adult does something that retarded, I have no sympathy.
Also, these people aren't saving the environment by doing what they're doing.
No.
Most of the time they're causing more harm to the environment. And like I said before on Rumble, and I don't want us to ever get canceled because of my theories in life, but I think that they're distracting from what is actually happening, which is they're causing a lot of the harm that's going on. They're the production that's supposed to be like, oh, we're the cheerleaders. But there's legit no real place in the world right now that hasn't had these fires start in such a way where we're aware. And for some reason, we can't do anything about it. And I'm beyond tired of it because it's leading to people dying. And these people don't give a shit because what they want is your property.
Yes.
And they don't give a shit about whether or not you have to die to get it. They will claim it, and they'll claim climate change as the reasoning. But did you know in Greece they found Artemis lenses? You know, the ones that you use to start fires? And I'm just saying, you don't even need fancy equipment to do that. A plastic bottle with some water in it, that is an Artemis lens. So I'm well aware of the fact that all the places where it counts, like right now I am thinking about Maui, because if I was from there, and yeah, they love to vote for the Democrats. I hate using politics when I'm talking about people who died, but it doesn't matter.
I think that's I think it's going to be a land grab. I'm not sure how it started. I don't really care how it started, but the fact is it's been done and there's nothing you can undo, no way to undo it. But I think what you're going to see is people like Oprah and Michelle Obama are going to go in, they're going to buy up all the property.
They've already kind of said that. Yeah. They've already kind of claimed that. And fuck her. Fuck both of them.
Yeah.
Like they're heinous. But they're also going to turn Hawaii into a smart city. And I'm like, well, have fun with that. have fun with that, because
Well,
you
at least
are
Maui.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
Frosted is
do.
saying, Frosted says, I really hope one of them glues their hand to a building right before a wildfire hits the town. That just reminded me. I think it was Volkswagen. The activists glued
Yeah.
themselves to the exhibit. And like turned the
They were
lights out and left.
they were asking
I
for something to shit in. They wouldn't give them anything.
no,
Yeah.
they deserve it. I stand by that. Like I really want people to start waking up, and we have to start responding to this stuff somehow, and I just don't know how. Like, I've been saying that up here for ages, because we've been on fire for ages, and yes, it's fun to joke about it being the Welsh ghosts, because I started a tea joke, but no, it is getting kind of serious, because I am thinking about people who just lost family members, and I don't know, like, elders, young, like, I think it was more than 93 people. They keep saying 93 people, but if 1,000 people are missing and it's day 3,
it's going to be 1,093 people is what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
But we've all been on fire. Australia's been on fire, and California is on fire every year. So,
but the response
I'm
is
pretty sure Australia doesn't stop being on fire.
But the response to this is part of the reason why I was horrified, because last week I even said that, like, I thought that we would have responded to this like they would have a volcano, because all of Hawaii is a volcano. I mean, I wasn't sure if it was just one of them, but yeah, all of them are. So I thought, okay, I make jokes about Greece, but they have, I'm not sure if I think that's Italy. Sorry, I'm thinking Italy. They have the big volcano there. They have plans to evacuate people, even if it's just like a hint of it. Yeah, they know to evacuate. So I would think they would have shit like that in play for a fire, even if it's just partial. So I'm more horrified about the fact that they were jumping in the ocean to escape this shit, Terry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's.
And even the people who jumped in the water, some of them still died too, because there's literally corpses floating in the water.
Yeah,
that's horrible. That's
like,
horrible.
That's why I want something done. I want them to find out what the hell happened, and I get that that's going to be cadavers, but I don't trust anybody right now. Like, there could legit be people there with sincere intentions to help people, but there's people there to cover shit up, and I don't know who is who. But fuck Hollywood. Fuck Oprah Winfrey, because you're a disgusting, horrible human being. You are.
It could certainly be something natural. I don't see why it couldn't be. If it was dry there for a period of time, and it's literally in the ocean, so whipping winds is not out of the realm of possibility, and you can combine the two, dry with wind, and you get a spark. Yeah, it's a tinderbox. It's going to go up. But you start hearing people talking about space lasers and that kind of stuff. You kind of wonder, dude, mental hospital.
Oh, sure, but I mean, arson isn't unheard of. I think fires do start naturally, obviously, but they are also started by people. So finding out which is pretty important.
I highly recommend that you both look up that map, like the after effects of where all that damage was. Everywhere where you find the mansions are, or the really high-end market areas, they're fine. They are without scorch marks.
They kind of explain that as being there's all of those mansions have huge lawns that prevent tree-to-tree transfer of fire.
Yeah.
So there's even that. I don't want to apologize, because it could be intentional, and I don't want to say that it was intentional or that it wasn't. I really don't know. But if you look at the possibilities, it is possible
of course
that
it is.
that this is all just a tragedy.
It's just because it's happened so much this year, and this constant climate change excuse, I can't buy that. Not every single time. I would like them to actually really investigate this one, and I hope they find something. And if it is natural, fair enough. Then they need to build better plans for their people, because I'm really sorry for the residents there. I really am. At the end of the day, that's all I can say. Like,
you read Frost's chat?
Oh,
Kind of messed
it's
up your
funny
play,
because I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to say it.
Frosted with the zingers every time.
Yes. He is the fire starter, the twisted fire starter.
Yes, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't want to come down one side or the other because we just simply don't have the facts of what happened.
Yeah.
But the first thing, of course, you're always going to get, no matter what's going on, is you're going to get some kind of conspiracy theory. And I'm definitely the kind of guy who has a tendency to believe conspiracy theories. I wouldn't have been before
They all started coming true.
before the virus of unnamed origin overtook us.
The bee bug.
But once the coof became a thing, and I started to, mark off, oh, this was conspiracy that's not. This used to be conspiracy that's not. And I started going, and I got up in the 10s and 20s. I was thinking to myself, hey, wait a minute. Conspiracy theories are just predictions that turned out to be true.
So what Hammer's saying is Hillary Clinton really is a lizard person.
I am not sad. I just want to make that clear to everybody.
I think the thing is, Hammer, is I caught on to this because of what happened in Australia. I've never forgotten your fires either, Terry, because, yeah, it killed a lot of wildlife. I don't doubt it probably killed people. I don't remember, but I think it did. And it destroyed a lot of homes. But more importantly, the people who are like, oh, we care about the environment, like, didn't seem to give a shit about, like, oh, yeah, these poor koalas. 3 of those fires were confirmed to be arson. I don't doubt more of them were.
Weren't some Canadians also turned out to be arson?
Yes, some of them have turned out to be arson. It's the part where they're lying about more of them. I'm more than willing to accept that some fires are natural because we've had them for the last 10 years. I know some of them are natural. I'm aware of where I am. It's the ones that aren't that I want to be addressed, because if you have people starting fires and they know that they're getting away with it, they will continue to do so. And if you know they're getting away with it because of politics, these are the same people I thought were tipping trains up here. Like, that stuff isn't just, sometimes a lot of those trains were oil tankers, Hammer. Like, I had nightmares of what happened in Nova Scotia. I think it was Nova Scotia. I can't remember, but they had a big derailment that caused half a town to blow up.
Yeesh.
And so when I see this kind of stuff, my instincts, I go to aliens, and I don't want to go to aliens. I would like them to point out where these people are and then deal with them like you should, because that would put the rest of my brain to rest, because then I know that our system is in play. And that I know my government isn't trying to just kill people, which they are.
Of course they are. You've got an entire program set up to kill people in hospitals.
It's really frustrating. It is, because I hate hypocrites more than anything else, and I hate that we're not. I hate when we see it in front of us.
That is a really strange thing about Canada. Are you like the only Western country that gives people the option? Hey, if things aren't going right, we got a solution for you.
Yeah, no. Someone went to them saying they were suicidally depressed, and they suggested medical assistance in dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you want to kill yourself? We can help.
We can help. That's terrible. Hilarious, but terrible.
Well, they've set us up to make us depressed to begin with. Like, you're going to see a trend, because it's become a thing on TikTok for Canadians to talk about how our economics are killing us, because they are. And a lot of them are probably lefties, not going to lie. Some of them are. But a lot of them are also conservatives, because even though our rates have gone down, everything that matters hasn't. And it's the same for you too. Like,
it's almost exclusively young people too.
it is actually impossible to really set up your life at this point. Like anytime you think, okay, I'd like to set some money aside to save this for that, so I can invest this into something. Oh no, you're going to have something come up on you, and everybody has moments in their life where shit just happens. It's just everything is setting us up for failure. Everything is. And it's a little bit overwhelming because I think everyone my age is well aware of the fact that our elders are on the verge of being out. Like not just a little bit, but like really out. And once that happens, we're looking at everybody going, is the AI going to be reliable? Because they keep claiming it is. I don't think so. And if it isn't, we're fucked.
Yeah.
As much as people want to rag on people like the trad wives, I had a conversation with my mom about all the things that she used to do. And yeah, she had a full-time job, so she was never a trad wife. But even still, the things that she would do for my dad to save money, to help us out along the road so that they could save money, things like sewing things. She would darn his socks, his pants. He liked to go hunting, so she would fix those. Those are really expensive. So, she would fix those to such a point where, he didn't have to go buy new ones half the time. So between cooking for him and cleaning for him and helping to maintain that part of the house, because he would maintain the other half. That's the ideal situation between a partnership. Their house is going to be okay to sell. Like, there's still some stuff they're going to have to fix when they go.
Yeah, of course. There always is.
But in comparison to other places, most people are fucked because their kids don't know how to maintain the house. They don't know how to do basic chores because their parents did them all the time. They don't know how to do things like laundry. Like they can't cook for themselves, so they have to rely on other people to do all that stuff. This is all the kind of stuff that drains you. So they can't maintain.
How is it possible to not know how to do laundry? You put the clothes in the machine, you put the powder in, and you just push start. It does itself, basically.
You would be amazed at the amount of holes that a lot of basic kids have in terms of basic maintenance to themselves. And
if I can do it, literally anybody can. Literally, you just put the clothes in the machine, put the powder in the machine, and push start. It is an incredibly simple process.
But it's also maintaining them afterwards. Like, which one should be done with cold, which one should be done with hot. A lot of kids I find just toss out their stuff.
You don't even need to worry about it. You can just do like a generic wash. That's one of the settings. You just you can be more meticulous with it if you want to, but if you're just putting in the same stuff every time, you just use the same settings every time.
I would also say part of the drain on that one is also your setup. So you might have I have a decent setup. You might have a decent setup. I have my own washing machine. I don't pay per load. So I admit that's rare. That's actually rare to have. Most every other place that I had didn't have that setup at all. You had to pay. And that's part of what's draining people. So if you don't know how to do your loads properly, a lot of people will shove everything in. Yeah.
I was thinking that.
So it's been a problem for that. And then there's always people who steal, so you have to guard your laundry. Otherwise people will steal your load so they can take your time.
Hey, crazy.
It's a lot of things. Then they've changed our laundry lately. So they've changed to sheets to clean your laundry with. They don't want to go with the pods anymore. I think they were terrified of kids eating pods. So everything is going to be a sheet now. Have fun with that.
Look, if a kid wants to eat a Tide Pod, I say they're dumb enough. They deserve what happens to them.
Right?
The Darwin effect, right? Get rid of all those people who would be stupid enough.
But also, I don't... Okay, so they still sell powder. They still sell the pods. They still sell the liquid. And now they're going to go with the sheets. I'm like, so...
There was actually a College Humor sketch, long before it became a thing, where one of the people was these Tide Pods look delicious, and then like he eats one and gets sick, and then they actually had to update the description saying like, in light of the recent trend, we must advise that nobody do what's in this video.
I can't imagine that tastes good. You're basically eating soap.
Yes, you are. It does not taste good. There is 0% chance that it tastes like anything other than soap.
I can understand like the cinnamon challenge and what was the bucket over your head for
The ice bucket challenge. Yeah.
ice spike. Oh, yeah, I can understand those kind of things because they don't really hurt you. I mean,
no,
the cinnamon challenge can be a little annoying, but
it's how you go about it with the cinnamon. Like if you aren't prepared for the fact that it just dehydrates you instantly. Like you're kind of clogged up and you're instantly so dried out that you're like, I can't breathe very well. I did it as a dare at work because I worked at a Starbucks, and I wasn't dumb enough to just put a spoon in my mouth. Yeah. I'd actually had a drink beforehand, so I kind of just didn't tell them that. So I still had liquid in my mouth. Oh, I absolutely cheated because I'm not dumb.
that's what causes all the problem, is because if you don't have liquid in your mouth and just pour the cinnamon in, the molecules are small enough that some molecules will get in your throat regardless. No matter what happens, they will just migrate there. That will cause you to cough, what causes you to open your mouth and bring more in, which causes you to cough even more.
Yeah.
So it's just, once you get on that roller coaster, you're going to go for a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I just knew that. So I just had enough water in my mouth.
Cheater, demon eater.
Yeah, well, you know. With age comes wisdom.
You don't get caught.
Right?
It is 10 o'clock, folks. How do we want to?
Well, I'm still good, but it's up to you both. Like if you're hungry or, you know.
I'm hungry. But
you're always hungry.
I don't mind. Yeah. I mean, we stream at lunchtime. It's like, of course I'm going to be hungry.
Yeah. I didn't eat anything today at all. My stomach's been upset for the last couple of days, so I figured, well, I'm not going to take a chance on Wednesday. I just won't eat. So all I've had was one glass of lemonade. That's been my entire meal for the entire day. So I am hungry, but we covered everything we're supposed to cover. The lady got killed or run over by a cop car. That was fun. And then we discussed Maui at length, so we covered all the topics.
Yeah. And then we talked about that strike in Missouri, which I'll own it because I did confuse them with Maui, which I stand by what I said. I don't think of Hawaii as being necessarily that bad of a place in terms of violence. But Missouri, on the other hand, fuck Missouri, because I think they went the way of the woke in such a way where they're willing to fuck over people who are actually working really hard with what they have. And I see a lot of places in the US like that where they used to be really, really awesome places to live. And it's not a color thing. I do think it's a bit of a cultural thing, but I don't think it's because of the skin color. I think that's stuff that they're feeding down your throat, and a lot of people are just buying it. You know? Because I a lot of the reasons I don't follow people like Blonde and that is because I've been looking at different conservatives lately, like the gay conservatives, different Black community conservatives just from different states, because I wanted to know really the difference between what people were talking about. And I don't think they ever really represent who is conservative in a lot of these states. It's a lot of BLM types, or really, I don't know if that's necessarily Democrat, but definitely the type that seems more activist than somebody who's on the side of the people who voted for them. So yeah, I feel for the Missouri cops. I actually do feel for some of ours, but I at the same time have this belief that they've been willing to throw us under the bus too. You know, so I'm holding out for the ones that are still on my side, but at the same time, though, they need to speak out and let us know what's actually going on, because if we don't know, we can't assist. I don't think it's that bad yet. We're on fire. We're just not Maui fire yet, because we're not on an island in the tropical sea where they should have had some kind of plan involved for fires.
You would think they would just have,
volcanoes.
they think we just have like trucks near the water that could just bring the water in from the ocean. I mean, so it's salt water, big deal. Still gonna put the fire out. Why not just have some way of, you know, put a pump or a couple of pumps around the island and just pump water onto a fire? It's a small enough island. You could do that, you know?
I think they're just Doors fans who took "Come On Baby, Light My Fire" a little too literally.
But also, the people who are in charge absolutely need to be held accountable for their escape plan, or at least their safety plans, because they have to be aware of need for evacuations. Like, even if you have to fall back on your volcano plan for the fire plan, you should have done that, because that's where my concern is still at. It's always going to go back there, Hammer and Carrie. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I can't. It's one of those things where I said to a buddy who was making jokes that his retirement plan was to buy a boat so he never had to land it anywhere because he thinks everywhere's on fire. I mean that not in the literal sense, but just like politically, everybody's charged up with something. And I said the problem with me is like I'm a plains girl. I live in the plains. I've had mountains as my experience in life. A boat on fire is a death sentence. So an island on fire is also a death sentence.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the numbers are not as bad as people are predicting.
I hope people escape. You know, like maybe they had their own boats or something and they've just gone to other islands and they haven't, you know, I don't know how many actual islands are in Hawaii. Like I know the main ones, but like do they have like little islands like Japan does?
Yeah, there's 3 big islands, and there's a main island, Hawaii, and then there's Maui and one other. Kilauea? No. What's the one that begins with a K? And then there's a couple of small ones too. So I know there's a bunch of islands. I guess if you're trying to get off of one and you get on another, it doesn't have any way of communicating. It's small enough, you know. You may not be able to get a hold of anybody. It's not like everybody has a sat phone, you know.
No. Yeah, I hope that's the case. Like I hope that most people just got off and it's taking them a bit to get a hold of their family members. And the cadaver dogs are good doggos. I'm just saying.
Is the one that starts with K Kokomo? Because that I know there's a Kokomo. I heard the Beach Boys song.
I don't know where Kokomo is. I have no idea. I don't even know if it's an island.
I have no idea. I just know that there is a Kokomo.
I know from a song.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you want to go. Get away from it all.
Indeed.
All right. We're starting to get silly. It's time to get out of here. How do I do that again? Oh, right. I have an outro. Sometimes, man, things kick in and you can't remember stuff.
Yeah.
Music too. Gotta do music. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday show, remember, meetings are live every evening, including weekends, with most shows starting around 10:30 p.m. Eastern 7 days a week. Hosts and start times are listed in the description down below. Don't forget our pre-show on Rumble. That stream starts roughly at 8:30 when everybody's here. We will be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a
Bye,
good
guys.
night.